Okay, we saw the Chicago Bears not have very good clock management here, so let's pause it right now so we can set the stage. This is the situation for the Bears. They're in a great spot to upset the Detroit Lions, a team that they were 10.5-point underdogs against heading into this game. It's a 2nd down and 10, and you see they're at the Lions' 25-yard line. They're down 3 points, but there's still 41 seconds left, and they got a timeout. Plenty of time left, right? Let's see if we can drive down and score a touchdown. Well, this play at first looks like it's going to help them, but ultimately does not. There was a penalty on this play. This is it. Look at the left side of your screen. You see offensive lineman knocking off a defensive lineman's helmet. Can't do that. That's going to bump you back 10 yards. Now you're in a little bit of trouble. It's not a disaster, but you do have to pay attention a little bit to where you are on the field as you're at your own 35-yard line. 2nd down and 20 here. But still, 36 seconds left. Carlos Santos has a pretty big leg. You're in a dome. You're fine. You can try a field goal from here. Just don't have any more negative plays. Well, except the right tackle does not block on this play, which results in an immediate sack. And because of that, now they're starting to be in a little bit of trouble, right? I mean, you're in a situation where it'd be a 58-yard field goal from here. You're in a dome. You have a chance, but it's not ideal. So now that it's going to be a 3rd down and 26, well, what are your options? To me, I think you have 2 options, and they're both totally fine options. You have plenty of time, 32 seconds left. What you either do is, A, you call a timeout right now, and then you run one more play. You can still run it over the middle of the field if you want to. After you run that play, you rush your field goal unit on, have them kick a field goal. That's plenty of time to rush the field goal unit on. The other option, and the one I think I would prefer, is you just hurry up to the line, run one more play, and then you can call a timeout after you gain a few yards, and then you don't have to rush the field goal unit on. So what is Matt Eberflus going to do in this situation? Well, I'll let you hear him himself explain it.
We wreck that play at 18 seconds, throw it in bounds, get it into the field goal range, and then call the timeout.
Okay, that makes total sense, right? That was one of the options that I mentioned, which is you run one more play with, run it with around 18 seconds left. You might be wondering, 18 seconds, that's a little bit late, right? Shouldn't you be doing it a little bit earlier? Well, he actually has an explanation for that as well.
Again, we were outside the field goal range, so we needed to get a few more yards in there, as close as we can get, and then we're going to call timeout, and that's why we held that last timeout.
I'm not sure if you caught that, but he said they're going to call a timeout, them being the Lions. His logic is you don't want to run the play too early, because if you run the play too early, then the Lions could call a timeout and have a little bit of time left of their own to try and score. I don't know if you really need to be thinking about that, but still, again, you have plenty of time. You get the logic. Okay, understood. We have the plan. How are they going to execute it? Well, first, you're going to see that Caleb Williams, not that quick to get up. He's actually very slow to get up. It's actually, look at 65, the offensive lineman. He's the one that's coming up and saying, hey, we have to hurry. Remember the 18 seconds thing? We have to go. We have to make sure that we can get another playoff. So he's the one who's actually, paying attention, getting the gears in motion. Caleb Williams, to his credit, only a few seconds, into this sequence, does realize that he's trying to get everybody set now. So we'll cut a little bit ahead, 5 more seconds ahead to this sequence, this situation. There is 16 seconds left. The Bears are mostly set at this point. They have plenty of time, right? You run a play. You have all day to run a play, try and gain just 5 yards or so, and then kick a game-tying field goal. You're totally good, and they just take so long here. First, you're going to see them take 5 seconds here, and this is where you have to start wondering about Eberflus. So I'll pause it again right here. There's 11 seconds left. You have to wonder at a certain point, if you're Eberflus, do you just call a timeout and say, you know what, we have to call a timeout? I kind of understand why he's not, though. They're lined up, and you want to run a quick play so that way you have the timeout after. If not, then you have to work the sidelines. Things become a little bit more difficult. So instead, what happens is here, you're going to see that, again, another 5 seconds run off the clock. Finally, the ball is snapped right here with 6 seconds left in the game clock, which I have to say again, is kind of enough time, right? You can run a quick play, run a quick slant, run a quick something. You have plenty of time. In fact, let me show you the last frame of this play where there still is a second left on the clock. It's right here. You see how far into this play it is. If Caleb Williams ran anything but a deep shot, they would have had another play. And Eberflus did say that this was not the play design that they had going into this. I think this is Williams looking up, realizing he didn't have enough time, and throwing the ball down the field. So I don't know exactly what happened here. Eberflus basically didn't say. He didn't specify what exactly happened. Why did Caleb Williams hold on to the ball longer than probably he should have? Why was the ball snapped with 6 seconds left instead of 18 seconds left like they had planned? I don't know. Is it fair to blame Caleb Williams? Maybe. There was 14 seconds left on the play clock when Williams took the snap. Did Williams just get the clocks confused? That's possible. But as you see, this pass went incomplete. Even the Lions, kind of funny their reaction. Like you see Dan Campbell kind of slowly realizes, like, oh, hey, guys, that's game. We won. Also, I think an interesting thing, going back earlier in the drive, this situation, there was a 3rd down and 7. You see that they had to burn a timeout here because they couldn't get the play in quickly enough, so lost track of time there. And here, they actually did get the snap off, but Eberflus thought they weren't going to get the snap off. He called the timeout. Williams was actually mad at the sideline for that. So they burned their first 2 timeouts due to clock mismanagement, and then don't burn their last timeout here. Had they had multiple timeouts, they wouldn't have even been in this situation. They could have just called their first timeout right away, right? Also, Matt Eberflus was asked after the game, if you could do it again differently, how would you do it again differently? And he gave a very strange response.
I like what we did there. I think we handled it the right way.
That's a weird thing to say, right? Because obviously you didn't like what you did. You lost the football game. The only thing I can think of here, and this is actually what I think happened, was he was saying he liked the strategy that they implemented of let's hurry up to the line, snap the ball with 18 seconds left, run a play, and then call a timeout, which I agree. That would be a good strategy to implement. The issue is you didn't implement that strategy. That's not what happened. So my kind of closing thoughts on this, I think it's actually fair to blame Caleb Williams a little bit for this. At the end of the day, he's the guy on the field. He's the guy who has to be telling guys, hey, we have to go quicker. You have to know what the clock is at, right? You just do. And you can call a timeout as well if you want to, right? Anyone on the field can call a timeout. But also, like, Caleb Williams is a rookie player, and for Matt Eberflus, it probably would be good to really make sure that he knows what he should be doing in this situation. It is his job to prepare, but ultimately, the Bears completely blow a totally manageable situation in one of the biggest clock mismanagement moments I've ever seen. But yeah, that's what I think about all this. Again, it's crazy that they legitimately burned 32 seconds of clock. That's what they finally ended up burning. 32 seconds of clock while having a timeout, and they ran out of time in the game. I've never seen anything like that in all the years I've been watching football. So yeah, those are my thoughts on all this. What are yours? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.